Hey, I'm Paul Sponcia. I'm the CEO of the IT company. All of our videos are really designed for one thing, to help business leaders understand how to align IT with their business strategy so that they can go further faster. Further faster means make more money and have more fun. That's ultimately what we want you to do. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy.
I want to shift gears back to file sharing for just a little bit. We talked about this a bit, and I think we had some questions maybe around this, and there were some questions around best practices. What I would say, one of the hard parts about best practices around teams right now is it's evolving very rapidly, and so we're developing best practices in real time in a lot of situations. And what we tell people is the biggest thing is really spending time ahead of time, understanding how you want to use it. Are you going to try to mimic the way your file system is set up, your current file structure is? What is the plan around that? And it is difficult because typically the way that a team is set up is that if you're a member of it, you can, open, delete, modify anything that's inside of that channel on the files section for that team. So if you have access to the team and you're a member of the team, you can add, delete, modify, change anything. And I think we talked about this briefly last time, but I wanted to kind of show this again. So here's the general tab. We've got templates and proposals, but we don't want the templates folder to be able to be modified by everybody. And so you do have to use this open in SharePoint button. When you click that button, it breaks you out into SharePoint, and you get some additional functionality inside of here. And so one of the things that you'll notice is that once you do that, you can see who has access. People have access to this, and what type of access do they have. So the proposals, I'm fine with the sales and marketing owners and members having that type of access. The visitors have only view access. So if somebody was given external guest access, they would only be able to view it, but everybody else has full rights to do whatever to it. The templates are very different. I don't want the templates to be done that way. So again, if I click on the templates folder, there's little circles right here, it'll bring up to the right, and I click on manage access. And over here, if you notice, I already went into the members, and I said the members can only view it. They can't edit it. Visitors can't edit it. I could actually stop the visitors from even accessing it 100% if I wanted to. So if I click, it's going to remove their access if I do that. But I have the owners as still owners in here. And so the people that are left with, if you go back to Teams and you go to the Manage Team and who has access, the people that are in this category right here, the owners, as it applies to this particular folder, they have full access to it. The folks that are in the members and guests, what that means is those people are only going to have view access. They cannot edit, change, delete anything in that folder, which is really, really important.
I think I just want to kind of point out there that can get a little bit confusing between the products, but all SharePoint is doing here is storing the files and the permissions and stuff, which it's getting from Teams. Teams is the wrapper for SharePoint. So the terminology can get confusing sometimes, but unless you're doing this kind of functionality or trying to restore a file, you never really have to think about that SharePoint button.
Yeah, this is more a power user or administrator would be doing this type of stuff, somebody that's responsible for managing the team. And the other functionality inside of that we talked about was the ability to restore files based on revision history. So if you click on a file, when you get to it, you've got version history in here. And if you click on the version history, I only have one version, but I could actually restore back. So if I had multiple versions of that, I don't know if we have any files that have multiple versions in here. This one does. So if I said, well, this is the version that I actually want to restore, I can click restore. It's going to ask me, and it's going to replace that version that I put on there. You see 7.8. Now it's taken that one. It left the original one, but it also made a copy of it and made it the most recent one. So that's extremely helpful if you modify, delete, edit, a file. You also do have a recycle bin over here on the left. Again, this is only available from when you're in the files and you click on open in SharePoint. But when you click on that, you do have a recycle bin. So if you click on the recycle bin, I don't have anything in it, but if there were any files, is it 30 days that it keeps it, Cody?
Yes.
Yeah, it keeps everything for 30 days in here. So that's a little bit of a backstop if you accidentally delete something. Anything you want to add on that, Cody?
Nope, you got it all.
Trying to remember Steve, I think it was your question around best practices around this. So I wanted to make sure that we tried to cover that.
File ownership keeps changing, Steve says.
That one is a little deeper. I remember that's the deeper question than this situation. And I do want to talk to you offline about that. As far as, I think your other question is best practices around people, how they access files. I think that was maybe part of it. What we try to tell people is really two ways that you should be accessing files. One is directly through Teams, and by going in and clicking on a file that you want to open and then clicking open in Word, and that will open Word and open the file. The other is by making use of the sync option right here. I'm not going to click it because since this is a guest tenant, it'll probably foobar everything I've got set up for work. But what the sync does is it sets up using a product from Microsoft called OneDrive Files to Go, which is a little piece of software that is installed on your computer that we install for all of our customers, that allows you to create a cloud sync version of your files. They're not necessarily downloaded to your computer, but it makes it look like you have a Microsoft. I can demonstrate this because I do it here. If you look in here, for me, this is actually Teams. So all these folders under here that say the IT company right here, these are all locations in Teams that I have synced directly. These are all the different teams that I have access to and the different channels I have access to. So if you have typical mapped drives where you use GH whatever, this is the same thing, only it's using the team name and the channel name to map the same drives for you to gain access to stuff. So when I click on these, you'll see I have folders. I can click on that, health insurance. I don't have anything in there. Different documents that I have access to. And then I can double click on those documents and open them.